Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division in the dreaded Dunes tournament. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also visit golfclashtommy.com for elevation adjustment for all types of stuff when it comes to Golf Clash content. Also subscribe to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. There you will get my updated text guides where I will pinpoint the direction I believe is going to be the best, and you get all types of details for the adjustments, obviously. Yes, here on the right side you have the elevation adjustment featured here in this playthrough. Have in mind that elevation adjustment are kind of floating, so we are, might going to change from time to time when it comes to elevation to suit the adjustment. Take a look at, especially when it comes to hole number 9, second shot, I have been suggested 40%, but changed that to 25% this time around. So we're gonna start with the video. Please let me know in the comments if you do have any questions. So shot number 1 on hole number 1, Kingmaker. We do have a headwind, so I would suggest that we do go with a Kingmaker here. Like every time we do have a headwind, I would suggest a Kingmaker because we get distance, we get the possibility to reduce the wind. So max top and as much side spin to the right possible. We adjust for a maximum distance plus 10%. I use a little bit of OP here, which is something that I should not do. I do it because I feel that I would be getting more distance. Sure, I get more distance, but I do risk getting a slight glitchy roll, and I would then roll into the rough here. As you can see, we are very close, so stay away from overpower. That's not necessary. Second shot, we do have a not complete straight headwind, but very close to it. I was kind of thinking might go with a rough bump, but that's a very tiny one, and I might get back to that. So now when we do have a straight headwind, I'm trying to just bounce myself up towards the pin. I play with the Goliath, as that's my club that I play with an expert. Those of you playing with B52 level 6 plus, definitely a possibility to use that one as well, as 6 plus as the equal amount of ball guideline as level 8. Level 7 B52 has 4.5 ball guideline, which obviously is the best of the long irons when it comes to that. Take a shot. I'm gonna get this ball up towards the pin. I really don't enjoy bouncing on this fairway. You can see that we get a very high first bounce, and that's not something I do enjoy, but it takes us to its home and we get very close to get in the hole. So hole number 2 here, 10% extra, and I'm gonna show you 2 approaches. One with a Kingmaker, and here I would suggest that you do have at least a sniper level 8 if you're gonna play this shot, as sniper level 7 might in that way be a little bit too short. Then you might have to play with a power 4 ball or something like that. You can see that I'm using spin to get my ball guideline to be on the left side of the cup. That's at least the plan. And then we play, as you can see here, we play with a 9.8 rings, which is maximum distance plus 10%. And now obviously it's very important that we do hit perfect. A great will be okay if it's a minor great. If it's a good, you will have a problem. We bounce on the rough there and we get this ball not dead center, but we get that ball to hit the pin, drop down for a nice little hole in one. So we take it again, and now we play with a power 0 wind 5, and now I'm trying to maybe go a bit more direct over the bunker, but then I change my mind and feel like, okay, I need to give myself a little margin here, so I play with 2.5 bar back, and I play with slightly more than 2 side spin here. And the reason I want to have that little extra 2 side spins because once again I want to align the ball guideline with the left side of the cup. Very, very important, as we otherwise is going to miss slightly right. So that's key here. Now quarterback is the club that I play with. As I said, wind 5, power 0, we bounce there, and we can see on the camera angle it gets dead, same type of thing as with the sniper, nicely done for an hole in one. So, okay, now we come to hole number 3, and here we're gonna look for the funnel, not here with the drive though, but for the second shot. And now I'm playing with 3 bars topspin and as much side spin to the right possible, and once again I play with a Kingmaker. Why Kingmaker? It's because I reduce the wind and I give myself power 3, so I don't have to overpower. But look how close I bounce now towards the rough. I would like us to back up just a tiny little bit, because I don't like how close we are to, look there. Look how close we are to the rough there. With a great right, that would have been a problem. So we back up and move ourselves a little bit more to the left. We do have room, because we have look how far we are to the right side of the fairway. So make sure that you move a little left, back up a little bit, but 3 top, max side spin. Now we're going to play for the funnel. Look at the ball guideline here when I'm going slightly back and forth. It kind of doesn't move from the hole. And the important part here now is that we're trying to get the ball guideline to go direct at the pin. Very important. And then we're going to play 2 top and as much side spin to the left possible, and then minimum distance. Obviously, you're going to change what type of distance of your club you're going to play from, depending on how far you're going to go with your drive. And now when I look at it like that, I thought it was going to go in, but look how close we are. We take the left side, roll out. If you hit this wall perfect, it's either going to be in or it's going to be super close. Hole number 4, I thought of giving you a win 5 ball approach here as well, but I removed that option as I couldn't really get any consistency. And so I'm only going to show you with the Goliath. +2 is where we start from with a power 3 ball. And we're going to use, look at the ball guideline. We go with top spin with equal amount of going through the hole, approximately 1 green square. Make sure that if you have a Goliath level 7, you let it to be to the pin, because the Goliath level 7 has a worse ball guideline than Goliath level 8, and you need to think about that. So if you need to move the ball guideline to be a little bit closer. Max side spin to the left. You can see we're coming in with a very nice speed, but we slightly miss it to the left there. We might need to consider to not play it 15% as we play there on hole number 4. Maybe we need to play it 10 instead. Hole number 5, use the club that gives you the most topspin of the drivers Extra Mile, Apocalypse and the Thor's Hammer. Thor's Hammer level 6 is the club for me here, and now it's all about to play as safe as possible without going with any overpower and just try to get a consistent drive, because here we can dial it in based on yardage notes. And that's the beauty with this type of hole, that we can play a straight drive, we play a straight second shot, and then the yardage that's going to come in just a bit is super valuable. Also, make sure that you obviously don't go into the rough. 10% extra for the drive. 385 is where we got to. Look, we're in complete minimum distance here when you back up there. Complete minimum distance, ball guideline to the hole with the Thorn level 8. No elevation, and in this scenario, I play at minimum distance. And the only thing that I don't think about is, like, obviously with a crosswind we're gonna have some slight effect when it comes to pushing us right to left here. So if I'm looking at this shot, or if I would be looking at this shot now afterwards, then I would know that this one would most likely miss left, based on that I do not compensate anything for the wind push. So in this scenario, play at minimum distance, but we should really be playing at minimum distance plus 0.2 to just compensate for the push there. Very close, and I do consider hole number 5 to be almost a must eagle, I would have to say. Hole number 6, and here power 3 ball, very important. We do want to get our ball not as far down as possible. I just want to play my drive with a bit of control, using around 50% of overpower, or like OP. First, max top and no side spin, and then I'm going to push up my target up to max once I'm done with my adjustment. If you want, you can go with a slight counter curl left. You don't have to, but you can do that if you want to. It's up to what you feel comfortable with. The only thing we're looking for is to get the ball down here, because now it's time for another rough bump. 10% extra for the drive. Second shot, 20% extra. And here, this is a tricky one, because now we need to really make sure that we are adjusting it in a proper way. First, use top spin combined with side spin, so you get the ball guideline to go towards the pin. Very, very important. Then you're going to adjust for maximum distance plus 20% based on the distance we are now. That will obviously change based on, you know, if you have a longer drive, if you have a shorter drive, so really have that in mind. Once we are done with that, we turn the screen around and pull back approximately half a green square. Sorry, half a ring, not a green square. Otherwise we're gonna fly too far, because tailwind has that effect that we're gonna carry a little bit further. And then, you know, we get close. Perfect ball would have been very, very close. Hole number 7, you get 2 approaches, one with win 5, one with a kingmaker. We start at +2, half of the blue ring inside the rough there. We go with max backspin and 2 bars side spin to the right, sorry, to the left in this example. And this ball is gonna come here, it bounces on the fairway, and it gets fairly close. I would say 1 bar of left side spin here is gonna be enough, and we played max distance plus 10%. And now we change, we play with a power 1, wind 5. We aim for the left edge there of the rough, and we're going to play this one approximately 6 bars backspin, and then around 1 bar side spin to the left. I would have to say like this: remove the side spin, let the ball guideline to be approximately half a green square or 1 green square to the left of the pin, because we are slightly over adjusting this shot here, and that's something that we could compensate for if so. I don't believe in that we should adjust less rings, because that would cause more trouble in my opinion. So we take our shot, minimum distance plus 10%, we bounce in the rough, and we roll very, very nicely and miss approximately with half a green square. And that's an alternative approach for you that I wanted to show, which could, in a good way, get yourself a nice little easy way to an hole in one. Hole number 8, let's go green. 10% extra. You do want to have around 10 miles per hour with a berserker ball. 6 topspin is enough. Using more topspin is gonna be putting you over the green, most likely. We roll towards the green, giving ourselves a nice and easy putt. So you can see as well that I hit great left. And that great left is obviously a little bit dangerous, but in the end we safely get down there. I'm going to play this one fairly conservative. I'm not trying to go for a hole in one here. I'm trying to go for either a very short wedge just before the green, or on the fringe, or a putt. Because if we can just secure getting an eagle here all the time, that's gonna be perfect. So when I said 10 miles per hour is perfect, how can we do to make sure that we're having that type of wind all the time? That is to change ball. So berserker ball, if that gives us, let's say it gives us 8.5 miles per hour, like a very low wind, then we change the snow globe instead. And if, let's say, we do have an 11 or a 12 mile per hour with a berserker, we might consider to play with a ball that gets power 4 but wind 1 instead, like a different ball in that type of scenario. But nonetheless, we need to make sure that we are getting that freaking eagle. So, hole number 9, last but not least, 10% extra for the drive here, and we're gonna look for half of the red ring inside the rough line there to the right, 4 bars topspin and as much side spin to the right possible. Then we're going with a little OP here, going around like 10% overpower is what I'm trying to estimate it as. Max curl to the right, and here I would suggest that if you do have a lower level apocalypse, or like an apocalypse in whatever level basically, use that one instead. Go with a little bit more curl than I have on the extra mile to make sure that you're getting your kick into the right, because it would be a bummer if you would be rolling into the rough because you're not having enough curl. So have that in mind. Second shot, 25% extra, and this is tough for me. This is the first time I'm getting into long iron range, so I had to wing it a little bit, but it's the same type of structure. Use a club with a good ball guideline, but obviously the sniper would be a preferred club here, and try to play the shot as, you know, as from the distance it is. And here I'm trying to play this one somewhere between mid and max distance. I do get a good bounce in the rough, but I do miss left, and that is because we need to start by offsetting to the right a little bit to get this ball in the hole. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this playthrough for Expert. I hope you enjoyed it. There is some really good things in this playthrough here that will help all from lower level clubs to those that do want to play more aggressive, to want to play with special balls. And obviously I will throughout the week look over the shots and see if we can't tweak it going forward. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, make sure that you subscribe to Patreon so you do get updated text guides. Timestamps in the video description down below. And I do say thank you for watching. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck.